Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Payoff Pitch presented by Fantasy Phenom. I'm Kyle. That's Mike. As soon as the screen wants to transition over here. There we go. Now we're there. There we go. All right.
Here I am.
There we go. So I'm Kyle. That's Mike. Fantasy Phenom. Breaking down tomorrow's 7-game slate. How did today go for you, man?
I didn't get much time to play today. Obviously, Sundays are tough for me working, so being at the main slate pretty much only exclusively starts early on Sundays. I generally don't get to play much, unfortunately. But what is up, world? What is up, sports fans, phenoms, everybody watching?
Dude. Odubel Herrera. I talked about him on the show this morning. I was like, dude, this guy is hitting lefties well, and he's in a slump, and he's 2,300 or 2,400 on FanDuel. Goes out.
It's too good for that price.
Goes out and breaks out of his slump. Matt Moore was the perfect guy to attack with.
For him to do that, yeah.
Josh Dewey.
Good for him, man. I'm a fan.
Yeah, man.
Dewey's always in here, man.
He really
We're
is.
recording pretty late tonight, too, so I apologize for our recurring live viewers.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Had some plans that ran later than expected, but we're here. Luckily, we don't have an early slate tomorrow, so plenty of time to dive in and digest the information.
That's right.
There are some
7 games?
Yeah, 7 games. There's some teams that I'm looking to play tomorrow that I don't think a lot of people will be on. We have Houston on the slate versus Ian Kennedy. That is going to be super mad chalk.
Yeah, especially with no one to pay up to at pitcher.
Yeah.
I mean, DraftKings just tried to price them out the roof.
Dude,
we'll see what happens.
Carlos Martinez is 12,000 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I think it's more than that, man. 12-7, that's what I thought I saw.
12.5.
12-5.
So he becomes the default high price option because there's no one else.
12-5 against Cincinnati in, what is it called now? Great American Ballpark?
These stadiums change names all the time, man.
Either way, not a good stadium. A Reds team that, I don't know. I mean, they're not great, but 12-5 for Carlos Martinez. They're not like a big strikeout team, so I don't see that much of an upside in this game for him to justify that price.
I see some potential blow up. Carlos Martinez is Carlos Martinez, but I don't know if I want to pay up that much for a guy with this much risk. I think I'll be really interested to see what ownership he has, though. I don't know that. I'd imagine he's going to get a ton because he's the only guy to pay up for.
I don't know, though, because there's a lot of crap pitchers on this slate, so I think people are going to be more inclined to pay up for hitters today. He is coming off of probably one of his best starts. I don't know if it was his best, but from a DFS perspective, he went deep into the game, struck out 9 Dodgers, which is no easy feat. So he is coming off a really solid performance. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'll be really, really interested to see kind of where we're going. What about Cardinal Bats versus Wojciechowski, right? Where's that from?
Woj.
Damn it, where's that movie from, Mike? Monsters Incorporated.
Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski.
Mike Wazowski on the slate. This dude, they sent Bonilla to the bullpen. They wanted to keep this guy in rotation. Why? I'm not really sure. I guess it was like the worst of the shit pile that they decided to go with.
Dude, his StatCast numbers are...
He's only had 1 start this year, but...
He got blown up.
He gave up 3 homers in 4 innings at Toronto. Didn't go very well for him, so... They're keeping him in the rotation, however. He is priced like he is a 7th-inning relief pitcher on DraftKings. I don't know. Diaz had a good day today, I believe. Piscotty hit a home run today. But I don't know. I guess they're fairly priced, these Cardinals. Diaz is somewhat underpriced, but he hasn't had that great of a season. He's gone from like Their 2-hitter or middle of the order, they're down to 6.
Anytime a guy's priced lower on DraftKings than FanDuel, you got to look there.
You do, and shortstop's a position that I like to punt, so I think that's a worthy play tomorrow against a pitcher that shouldn't be in the majors.
Quadruple A pitcher.
Sorry, Asher.
Mike Wazowski. I think sometimes he pitches like he only has one eye.
Maybe. He's got a pretty big eyeball, though, so I don't know. And then I don't really feel like targeting him, Carlos Martinez. I mean, again, I don't see him getting extreme ownership on this slate because of all the poor pitching. So I don't think it's like a one of those things where like you're targeting the ownership with the bats. So
you think
he's good enough?
You think Houston's more chalk than Martinez is?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. It's Ian Kennedy, so.
Yeah.
I like it, man. I like it. I agree with
that.
that.
Not much to really like in this game, except for maybe some punt bats and against Wojciechowski. I mean, I don't mind a stack there. I just don't. If you're running one line, I don't think that's where I'm going to go.
For what it's worth, if Martinez looks like he's going to be chalk, tomorrow is a slate to attack chalk because I think this is not a good situation for him to be chalk in this ballpark versus this team.
Yeah, I think people are too smart for that, man. Especially his price on DraftKings. I don't know where he's at on FanDuel relative to others, but
I'm just interested. Like I said, if he's shaping up to be chalk, I will throw a line.
No, yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I feel you.
Philly, Atlanta, bad. Nick Pivetta.
In Atlanta. This is what I'm saying. There's a lot of poor pitching on this slate. So we got Nick Pivetta against Bartolo Colon in Atlanta. What's your take?
Odubel Herrera, Cesar Hernandez, Michael Saunders, and Freddie Galvis is my take.
Some little bit of game notes here. They did send Brock Stassi down, and they didn't send him down to AAA. They sent him to AA. Remember I was telling you about that guy Reese Hoskins who's lighting it up?
Yep,
they didn't want to take playing time away from him, so they're like, all right, well, we don't want you in the majors anymore, and we don't want to take playing time away from this kid, so you're going to AA. They did that to bring Pivetta up, to back up, because Pivetta had, I think, 5 starts with when Aaron Nola was out.
Yeah, didn't do well.
No, but I guess they needed somebody else in this rotation. And if you're sending somebody to AA, I imagine they're going to keep him up. It's not like Brock Stassi was doing anything anyway.
Yeah, he played sparingly.
Right, so perhaps with Lively having that performance, they want to give Pivetta a shot again at this rotation. He was terrible in those 5 starts. I don't think he made it into the 6th inning once. So I think you can target both sides of this, man. I like Matt Adams since he's joined the Braves. He's been on a tear.
He's still 28.
And Ciarte went 5 for 5 today. It's a cool 2-man, I think.
Ruiz.
Both lefties.
Look at Ruiz.
Yeah, if he gets the start, man, I haven't really been. I thought that he'd be getting more of a platoon split, and he haven't really been doing that much.
Yeah, we'll see what I know they played Adonis Garcia today, but we'll see against Pivetta what happens against the righty, obviously.
Right. Seems like a good way to get going.
I think every lefty besides Nick Markakis is in play for me. I just don't want the power. Nick Markakis doesn't have enough power for me. Yeah,
and then you got Matt Kemp, who's just had an amazing month of May. I mean, you're paying up for Kemp, so you look at this slate and you look at the top-priced outfielders on DraftKings. It's George Springer, Bryce Harper, Matt Kemp. So obviously DraftKings realizes where he's at.
For what it's worth, Odubel Herrera got hot at the perfect time, if he is indeed hot. If he's going to continue what he's doing and going to Atlanta, he couldn't have picked. And tomorrow at this discount, $2,500, his price didn't rise that much, under $3K on DraftKings. Mm-hmm. If he bats high in the order, I'd almost say that's a lock for the price. Is that hard? Is that viable to say on Herrera?
No, I mean, I think it's definitely another good punt. It is an outfielder, so take that into consideration. But, Bartolo Colon has just been really bad, especially at home.
And versus lefties. Or versus everyone,
right.
But lefties too.
Yeah, I think he's got like a 7 ERA right now, so he's just not good. and definitely someone you want to attack, especially in this ballpark. So I think both sides of this matchup are in play. I like Tommy Joseph, especially he's a big bat, big lefty bat.
Tommy Joseph's ready.
Oh, I'm thinking of Saunders.
There you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, Saunders, definitely.
Big lefty bat.
But he's also sub 3K on DraftKings and only 2,700 on FanDuel. See, so this is kind of why I'm like, I think you might be able to get Houston and Philly with Carlos Martinez on FanDuel tomorrow.
Yeah, there's definitely some cheap stacks too. I agree. This Atlanta stack isn't that cheap anymore. So, yeah. At least the guys that I would want to play.
Also, Josh just made a good point. He says, I love taking guys in good spots. People don't want to use their outfield spots on guys like Herrera. And I think that's true. On a short slate tomorrow, I think you're going to see Springer with mad high ownership and probably Bryce Harper.
Yeah, you can punt your third outfielder, I think.
But
I
just don't think people will be on a Herrera-Saunders stack too much.
No. I mean, I don't know that he's going to be chalky value. Let's put it that way.
I don't think he will either, which is kind of why I like him even more. San Fran and Milwaukee. So this might actually end up being the best pitching duel on the slate. And Samardzija is very intriguing for me. He's much, much cheaper than Martinez on DraftKings, but he's only 1,100 less on FanDuel. But he's facing this Brewer team that, I know they're dangerous, but so is Cincinnati. So, you're paying down. I would argue the Brewers strike out more, noticeably. Samardzija has a higher K rate. I could almost argue that he might have higher upside.
Perhaps. He does, again, struggle against lefties, and he's in a bad ballpark for home runs. I don't know as far as total, but this ballpark does give up a lot of home runs, so there's that to consider. But the fact that he's coming off his shortest outing of the season against Washington probably will keep some people off of him. He does have the K upside, like you said, of this matchup. So, I think he's going to be an intriguing play. I don't think people are going to be all over him, but I think he's definitely worthy of a tournament play. And then Junior Guerra, obviously 2 straight good starts, plays San Francisco, who just lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies. Just really playing poorly. I could see him having an unwarranted high ownership tomorrow, and for that reason, I'm looking elsewhere.
Yeah, I like Junior Guerra. I don't know if Giants are bad, dude. Giants are so bad. It's painful to watch this team, but
I don't know if I'm buying Junior Guerra. The K upside hasn't been there this season. He is still young. We haven't seen his peak yet. So, again, if everyone's going to be on him, which I could really see, I don't know if I'm buying it yet.
I'm with you. It's a risky play for sure. Only 700 less than Shark on FanDuel, too. That's a very risky play. I think if you're going to attack Shark, which is a very viable option, Thames, Shaw. Yeah.
Thames has been kind of struggling a bit. I think I'd rather go play Shaw.
Thames is heating up a little bit, man. He's got a couple home runs the last couple games. I know he's still strikeout or nothing, but maybe he's catching a little bit of fight. He's still, on DraftKings he's expensive, but FanDuel he's only 3,100. That's still cheap for where he was.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. They've been doing some weird stuff. They've been putting Thames in the outfield to get Aguilar's bat in, and then putting Perez on the bench. They've been doing a lot of different things. I think Sogard will be back in the lineup after 2 days off. Did he play today? I don't know. He might have played today, but I know he had 2 days off before today. But other than that, man, the bottom of the order of Milwaukee, which was started off pretty well, has been kind of struggling. Both these catchers have been bad. Shortstop position, they're getting nothing out of offensively. Broxton, VR, both kind of underperformed this season. So I could get behind the Shark play. It just kind of depends to me what the ownership looks like, and I'm not 100 on it, in this ballpark.
I love Sogard, Thames, Shaw, though, against Shark, who struggles against lefties.
I agree.
Miami, Chicago, Dan Straley and Eddie Butler. Straley's going to be interesting against a Chicago team maybe starting to put it together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, call me crazy, but I think I'd rather buy the Straley hype than Guerra.
I can get behind that.
But, this guy's strikeout pitcher, if he doesn't come with his stuff, it's a bad day. And in Chicago, yeah, no, it's for real, man. I mean, he did get some run support, and he got like 3 runs in that first inning last game. That helps against Philly. He kind of come out there with some confidence, being like, all right, this is going to be a breeze, and sure enough, it was. So, he's definitely getting backed by some good offense. Miami's 8-2 in their last 10 coming into Chicago.
Yeah, if Ian Happ starts again tomorrow, that's going to be an interesting play. Swinging the bat well since he came up. Kyle Schwarber again. He's still 2,900 on FanDuel. I'm telling you, Schwarber versus righties. Did he hit a home run tonight? I didn't watch the late night game.
Not sure, man. I know it was a close game. I was in and out watching it.
It was 7-6. Let's see. He's hit one the last 2 days. I just didn't know if he hit one today. Grand slam, obviously, the day before. And they're batting him in that 9th hole. Well, I'll be interested to see if they keep him there again. But Schwarber did not. He had 3 walks, though. So, remember what I talked about? That 8 hole? Or not? Well, he's 9, actually. But getting those walks, interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, this whole Cubs team, this whole Cubs season has been kind of interesting. It's been hard to pinpoint from a DFS perspective. They've given up some solid pitching numbers, to the opposition, but it's still tough to really, feel comfortable. Even with a guy like Straley, especially, because we've seen what he can do, so it's tempting, but
he's pitching, I think, above his career numbers.
It is. I mean, he's shown strikeout upside, but again, this Chicago Cubs team is not one to mess with in a sense. Butler makes his 5th start, hasn't looked awesome. Miami is it's been pretty hot, but look at their prices, man. On DraftKings, again, they go up with the hot streak.
Yeah, on FanDuel, I think they're still respectable, but so Dewey made a good point here. Depends what the wind is in Chicago tomorrow because it's such a big factor. If it's blowing out, Justin Bour again, Giancarlo Stanton, or Ozuna.
D. Gordon, man, too. Yeah, he's heating up.
This Marlin stack is definitely in play tomorrow versus Butler. So I'm looking at it. He gives up hard contact of over 55% to lefties, so you got to look there. Now, here is a game that is intriguing. Everybody and their mama is going to be on Houston tomorrow, and rightfully so. They're the hottest team on earth. And
yeah, George Springer is the hottest player on earth. He now has 7 home runs in his last 9 games, I believe.
He's playing really well, too.
8 straight double-digit DraftKings performances. He's always been a streaky hitter. He's got the pedigree. 20 for 42 in the last 8 games. 9 games, I'm sorry.
So Altuve is more than Correa tomorrow on DraftKings.
Yeah, I think the hitters go Altuve, then Springer.
Yeah, and then Correa.
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw out some numbers here. Josh, I'm not sure they still live on Earth. Yeah, they might have. I don't think there's any gravity when Houston plays. That ball just doesn't come down.
They're all hot at the same time. I mean, Marwin Gonzalez is hot right now, or has been hot for a long time, it seems like. Yeah, they're all hot right now.
So Brandon Moss, Theo was talking the other night, and it really started making me look into this. The StatCast numbers, right? And it can kind of help find when guys are getting unlucky, right? They're hitting the ball really well. The hits just aren't falling. Eric Hosmer's StatCast numbers, really, really, really nice. He had a really nice May. I think he can continue that, and you might start to see some power coming. Brandon Moss has a barreled per batted ball event of 16%. To throw out some guys of comparison, that's higher than Giancarlo Stanton. That is higher than Justin Bour. That is higher than Bryce Harper. And it is exactly equal to Ryan Zimmerman. We know he kills righties, and we know Mike Fiers is not good.
No, he isn't.
Don't be.
He had a good start.
Yeah, he did.
I think that was just throw that one in the in the dumpster, man. The dumpster fire that is himself,
Yeah.
I don't see that continues. We'll have one every once in a while. We'll give that one to him.
So Brandon Moss is an intriguing play tomorrow, and right above him, Jorge Bonifacio. Average exit velocity of 92 miles an hour off his bat so far this season. No, sorry, 91. Definitely,
Yeah.
I mean, he's swinging the bat really, really well. His birthday was today. If you buy into that, obviously he didn't hit a home run today, maybe tomorrow. Sal Perez coming off rest. Mike, how is Sal Perez 2,900 on DraftKings?
I don't know, man. I really don't. The dynamic pricing is a thing, man. You have like 5 bad games and they drop you big time. Same vice versa.
That's got to be a mistake. There's no way they did that on purpose. Sal Perez at 2,900 versus Mike Fiers, who gives up 5 home runs per 9 to righties.
I'm telling you, man, it's just one of those things. I don't know.
I don't know how you don't play Perez on DraftKings tomorrow. That's probably the easiest.
He's got a 129 average in the last 8 games. That's why like I said, the dynamic pricing is real. I mean, just to add some more numbers in, like you said, Hosmer had a great May, 366 batting average, 571 slugging in 113 plate appearances. Don't sleep on Whit Merrifield. Had another 3 hits today. Has a 20-game hitting streak, longest in the majors this season.
Dude,
so
he's up to 30.
Where the hell that came from, I don't know.
He's up to 30.
Actually, no, 19. Sorry,
3,700 on DraftKings now for a second baseman.
43
On
actually.
On DraftKings, on FanDuel is 37.
Yeah. So
highest priced player.
19-game hitting streak.
Highest priced player on Kansas City, batting 7th or 8th.
Yep. I don't know why he's 7th or 8th. I know.
Hey,
He makes for a perfect play for a 2-man stack. Get the guy that gets on base and find the guy to hit him home. And unfortunately, Brandon Moss is in front of him. So how that makes sense, I don't know. But
for what it's worth, if it's working, don't fix it, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes
sorry.
sense. Ian Kennedy, 9 homers in 45 innings this season. That 1 per 5 innings, I think. So if my math's correct.
Yeah. Real quick.
Houston.
Someone asked.
Super high.
What StatCast is. So StatCast is advanced statistics formulated by trajectory of the ball, average exit velocity, all that. So when we say average exit velocity, that is the miles per hour that the ball comes off the bat. When we talk about this 95 plus percentage, that's the percentage of balls hit that are hit above 95 miles an hour. And barrels per batted ball event. Barrels is a stat that takes into account contact, the speed of exit velocity, and the launch angle. For simple terms, just think of it as getting the barrel on the ball, right? You talk about that in baseball. It's not the exact definition, but think of it in simple terms. Higher the better for hitters, lower the better for pitchers on all 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so barrel rate or barrel per batted ball event is pretty much targeting power hitters. Hitters that hit lots of homers. And that's what we want in DFS.
Yeah, home runs end game. So.
Right. So that's it, man. And you can look at it like Kyle said, you can look at it to 5 people that are underpriced. Like, say a guy's has a really high average exit velocity, but he just keeps hitting line drives to the second baseman or line drives and get caught. Just kind of gets unlucky. You can kind of use it in that sense.
Exactly. So when I talk about Brandon Moss having a barrel rate higher than all those other guys, those hits are going to come. It's just a matter of time. That's just extremely unlucky, the fact that those are not finding holes or over the fence.
Yeah.
Toronto, Oakland.
Yeah.
J Happ has not been good this year. I know he's been injured, but in his starts that he has made, has not looked good at all. And then Sean Manaea is actually having his best year to date. Striking out almost 28% of his batters. StatCast numbers are really, really nice. And he's actually... So his average versus lefties, I know it's not a lefty-heavy lineup at all. Actually, there's almost no lefties in it. .053, but against righties, not bad either, man. He's striking out 30% of the righties he faces and not giving up home runs with that.
Yeah, this guy's definitely turned some heads. Last 2 starts, Cleveland and the Yankees shut them both down. So I did a little research, like what's come of this guy. This guy rocketed through the minors, and a pitch of purpose for him in the offseason was his slider, and he's upped his usage from 13% last season to north of 20% per Brooks Baseball. So he's using it. It's made it his go-to pitch. And like you said, his strikeout number has jumped. His whiff rate on that pitch versus righties has jumped from 18.4 to 26.6%.
Wow.
146 batting average career versus lefties, 263 career versus righties. So still not bad, but this season, like you said, it's even better. A near 30% strikeout rate against righties puts him in elite company for left-handed pitchers.
Yep.
Only Chris Sale, James Paxton, Alex Wood have higher strikeout rates versus right-handed pitching this season. So makes for a great DFS play. He's putting stuff together. He's a young pitcher again that we probably haven't seen his full upside from, and he's coming off 2 really solid performances. So definitely a guy I'm targeting tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you got to look at Chaminade. And then guys I'm looking at against Hap, I like an Oakland stack tomorrow, man. Similar to Philadelphia, cheap guys. So if Trevor Plouffe plays, that is a mad cheap option with some power. I know it's in Oakland, but still. Chris Davis, the fact that he's 3,300 on DraftKings is a steal.
Cheap home runs, man. That's Oakland's game.
Yep. And then Chad Pinder. Don't sleep on Chad Pinder. Again, he's strikeout or nothing, right? So he's going to go out. He might get you 4 strikeouts tomorrow. But if he connects with the ball, it's going to travel. He has, I believe, the longest home run hit this year at 474 feet. I could be wrong. I have to double check that. But if my memory serves correct, in Oakland, mind you.
That's a pretty cool stat, man. I like it.
So, dude has
looking at pricing, I'm interested in playing Chaminade tomorrow. So
100%.
He is $200 more than Junior Guerra, who gets arguably the better matchup against San Francisco, but he's in a worse ballpark. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there with those 2 pitchers, both kind of young, up-and-coming guys that have both come off solid performances. I just think Manai has the better K upside. I mean, I just kind of rattled the stats off there.
Yeah.
And he's got the pedigree, and, again, I think we're looking at a guy that, is going to be up there in price by the end of the season.
Real quick, X mentioned Jed Lowry for the cheap tomorrow. I caution you on it, especially if you're on DraftKings. I'd much rather pay down to Pinder. Jed Lowry is not nearly the offensive and power threat that he is on the right side of the plate. Almost all of his power is from the left. So I just caution you. I know he could switch sides, obviously, if, maybe later on in the game. So if you're targeting the bullpen when he's swinging from the left, but from the right, not nearly the home run hitter that he is from the left. So just caution you on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know what I would do. I think I just target cheap home runs here. I don't think I want to stack. I mean, Rajai Davis is in a serious slump right now.
But I'm telling you, Chris Davis is a steal on DraftKings for 3,300.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know that I want to stack here, but I think you can definitely find some cheap homers. Chris Davis is one of them. I mean, again, another guy that's really not been doing anything but hitting home runs this season. It's home run or nothing with him. And he did have a good day today. I think he hit a home run today, actually.
Yeah.
So
Chris Davis, bro, there definitely some power. So Chris Davis, 3,300. Sal Perez, 2,900.
2 guys in slumps that hit homers that are cheap.
And
so
Trevor Plouffe, 25 on DraftKings. There's a lot, and Chad Pinder, 27. There's a lot of cheap power, and that can allow you to get the Houston stack with a nice pitcher.
Yep. Just talk about J-Hap real quick. This is the second start off the DL. Definitely got a quick hook in his last one. Against Cincinnati, gave up 2 homers in 4 innings, and pitch count was getting up, so they pulled him. I think he got to no D in that game.
Yeah. Also, I just want, since I'm on StatCast real quick.
Yeah.
Only 2 guys on the entire slate that have a barreled rate higher than 20% are Chris Davis and Chad Pinder on the season. Just saying.
have a barrel rate on the season. Yeah, I mean, again, that the barrel rate really targets home run or nothing guys because
exactly
it's based on batted ball events. So if they don't put
make
the ball in
contact.
play,
Yeah.
but all they do when they do put the ball in play is hit home runs. So
no, absolutely, they're home run or nothing. But it's like I said, when they connect, it's gone. So.
right.
And then finally we got Washington,
Washington,
Washington and Los Angeles.
Los
Gio,
Angeles.
Gio and Hyunjin Ryu. I caution you guys on Gio tomorrow. I don't know that this whole Dodgers versus lefty thing is as significant as it was last year. In fact, the Dodgers are actually one of the best teams over the last 2 weeks versus lefties. They have addressed that situation mightily with the likes of Logan Forsythe, Chris Taylor, Yasiel Puig is getting a little better. Corey Seager has started to hit lefties a little bit. Cody Bellinger has had zero issue with lefties this year. And Franklin Gutierrez can slide in, and Kiki Hernandez. So I don't think Gio's a guy I'm targeting tomorrow. Or playing, sorry.
Seems like they've corrected it. I mean, like you hit the nail on the head. Puig having a better season, looks much more disciplined. Forsythe's leading off. Chris Taylor's hot. Yeah, I agree. So, not sure that that's still a narrative anymore. I know that Alex Wood he's eligible to come off the DL tomorrow, and Ryu's last start was supposed to be a spot start for him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. They haven't really come out and said what's supposed to happen. They haven't activated Alex Wood yet, so I think Ryu's still a probable pitcher, but definitely keep an eye out for that. It could change the slate considerably because of what Alex Wood has done this season. But I believe he's also a lefty, so we can look at the bats in that sense, versus lefties. Obviously, Alex Wood's a much better one.
So tomorrow,
Washington stack did work today.
Tomorrow, if you want a stack that is not going to be nearly as high owned as Houston, in my opinion, later game, doesn't have the recognition that Houston does right now. Michael Taylor has been swinging a really, really hot bat. Anthony Rendon is ridiculous right now, and he has been
Wieters did well today as well.
Wieters. I don't like him as much from the right side of the plate, to be honest, though. That's a little concern. He's much better from the left. And then Ryan Zimmerman. Ryan Zimmerman this year has a 93 average mile-an-hour exit velocity, a 52% rate of balls hit over 95 miles an hour, and a 16% barrel rate. Anthony Rendon has a 90 mile-an-hour average exit velocity and a 38% 95 plus. I love these two guys. If you just want to do a two-man tomorrow, that's where I'm going. Zimmerman and Rendon.
Yeah, I mean, I think at third base, I don't know that really, conflicts with the Houston stack. I don't know, but I mean, I don't know, either of those positions really conflicts. So I think if you wanted to do both, it would work out. If obviously you'd have to punt pitching, but I think you can. But yeah, I think this stack is definitely in order. Trey Turner was on base 3 times tonight, stole 2 bags. Zimmerman hit another home run today, like you said. So, yeah, I don't think you definitely target Ryu. I mean, he did actually pitch well in his last start, I think, in that spot start, but I don't buy it. Not against this team.
I agree with you, man. So, where are you pitching tomorrow, and where are you attacking?
Right. Let's do it. So we gotta have 2. I kind of like Shark and Manaea tomorrow as my 2 pitchers that I'm looking at. Yeah.
Yeah,
Who you looking at?
I'm all Manaea right now, man. I don't in Oakland. Toronto hasn't been the best versus lefties as of late. I mean, they're still dangerous, but every good pitcher today is in a dangerous spot. Martinez and Cincy. Shark, probably the worst of the three in Milwaukee. And then Manaea, it gets at least a pitcher's park, but it's versus a dangerous offense that's been swinging the bats well. So I'm gonna right now. I'm all Manaea. I mean, that could change, in the 12 hours before we have the slate or whatever it is, 16 hours. But I'm all Manaea. Carlos Martinez would probably be my second choice, and then I think a GPP option is Junior Guerra. I know, it's early to gauge whether the numbers are legit, but if you factor in the fact that Giants have been awful, maybe the numbers continue.
Yeah, I don't know. I just could see his ownership on DraftKings taking him out of GPP consideration for me.
That's fair.
But I see what you're saying from a matchup point of view. Honestly, I think the top two pitchers in this slate are going to be GPP options. Carlos Martinez, just because his price is insanely high, and there's a lot of bad pitching on this slate, so I don't see a lot of people paying up to him. And then Dan Straley in Chicago.
Yeah,
I think he's a GPP option that I don't think a lot of people are going to go to.
No, I don't think anyone's going to be on Straley. And then who are you attacking?
I like both sides of this game in Atlanta.
Yep.
I think I like the Atlanta side a little bit more than the Philly side if I'm doing a stack. Obviously, I want a Houston stack. I'm going to try and get parts of it, even if I can't go all the way, which I don't think they kind of outpriced him for all the way. I think George Springer is kind of like good chalk at this point, man. It's just been so good. Like, what does he do? I don't know. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think those are the two games I'm targeting as well. And then Oakland, maybe some Oakland bats, right? So for home run or nothing, mention those guys. But I'll have parts of Houston, Kansas City, both sides of the offense. And I really like attacking Cologne with Philadelphia tomorrow. I think they're cheap, and I haven't done it yet, but I'd imagine you can get a good amount of Houston bats with Philly bats if you don't pay for Martinez tomorrow.
Yeah, I think Oakland is the pivot off the Philly, Atlanta, whatever side you want to go. And I think, like you said, Washington's probably the pivot off of Houston for the high price stack.
True.
But I like a lot on the slate as far as hitting. That's why I feel like no one's going to really think to pay up to go Martinez. Like we said, I like a two-man against Shark in Milwaukee. The Dodgers are intriguing against Gio. So definitely a lot of different ways you can attack this slate. Maybe we see some spread out ownership from the bats. Going to be interesting tomorrow. It's definitely a nice little 7-game slate you got.
The Dodgers might be really low owned tomorrow because of the notion that they are bad versus lefties. But I'm telling you, they've been hitting lefties a lot better. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I mean, from the first glance, I don't think that's where I would want to go. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying it's the first option, but because of that, I think it'll be an interesting option.
It's baseball DFS, man. Any option's a good option.
Facts. So, all right. Well, as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you again to our sponsor, Goodyear Footwear. If you guys, again, would like a pair of shoes, 15% off at checkout with the code FANTASYPHENOM, capital F, capital P. If you would like to join the community, as always, there are two options. If you would like to try out the River Group and see kind of how the chat works, that is free to join as a guest. Of course, it limits you to just the guest chat, but you can get a feel. And then, of course, if you would like to subscribe and gain access to the sheets with all the information, the projections, all that, that link is down below. We'll take care of you, get you into all the chat rooms covering MMA, golf, all the sorts available in DFS. So, and of course, that comes with a free 7-day trial, so no risk involved.
Yeah, there's 20-some tabs on our sheet that we send out. Really can figure out the best way to try and use it to build your lineups. All of our premium content, like Kyle said, It's not just a chat room, although that's probably the best part about it, just kind of hanging out and kind of discussing the slate and bringing research and looking at other people's research. It's the best part about it, but we have premium content for all the sports that are going out right now for DFS. So I know it's been awesome, man. It's been fun.
Yes, sir. So, all right, guys. We'll be back for those of you in River, of course, doing our pre-lock show tomorrow. And then for the rest of you guys, we'll be back tomorrow night breaking down Tuesday's slate. So have a wonderful night and a profitable Monday evening.
Yep.